So now we're in section 4 of the exhibition, and the title of this section is City Quiz, Where in the World? What I wanted to achieve from this section is to kind of create the impression that you are walking on any street within the city of Tehran, kind of show something about the hustle and bustle and also street culture, popular culture, and eventually make the point that probably what you witness inside Tehran is not very different from what you could witness in any other city in the world. People going around doing what they do, minding their own business. You have, for instance, the beautiful life-size watercolors by Arash Sedakhatkish of young university students, and they're very, very bohemian looking with the Converse shoes, the diesel, the head wraps, you know. Then you have these amazing acrylics on canvas by Dariush Gharzad, who lives inside the country. So does Arash, by the way. Then there's these amazing sculptures from a series by Bita Fayazi, who also lives inside Iran, and it's called There Goes the Neighborhood. And you have the bodybuilder with his niece or daughter, the woman with the nose job, the family with the woman with the chador riding on a motorcycle, and the gossiping women standing in the corner looking very disapprovingly at the younger generation, which is something that we have witnessed everywhere else, you know, growing up anywhere in the world. So the idea was really to create an installation of sorts based on the artworks of these artists, to kind of, again, give a little bit of insight into what it might feel like if you were walking within a street in Tehran. So basically we're in the 5th section of the exhibition, which is called The Culture Shop, Final Sale on Stereotypes, All Must Go. And obviously it's a rebellion against the stereotypes, the redundant stereotypes that a lot of Middle Eastern artists and the Middle East at large is kind of caged within. And I'm standing in front of the works by an art collective, an artist duo, Caraballo Farman. Abu Farman is from Iran, Leonor Caraballo is from Argentina, and they did this series called the Heirloom Horror Plate series. Heirloom plates are usually used to mark special occasions, lovely occasions, and in this case you look at the prints and they are of photographs of people in really, really catastrophic scenarios, war zones, natural disasters, and it's very, very much about how one culture could go on with their life and their celebration and be very, very desensitized towards the suffering of another one. The painting that I'm standing in front of has a very, very special story. It's by an artist who lives in New York. Her name is Nigar Ahkami. And this was the painting that I wanted to show in the exhibition from the very, very first day. The artist was not very comfortable showing it because it makes very, very strong statements against the religious oppression of women. And then 2 days before the show opens, she calls me and she says, because of what's happening in Iran at the moment with all the demonstrations and the fighting, I decided to take risks. I'm not going to be afraid anymore. I'm going to show this painting. And when you look at the painting, you realize that it shows a woman blinding the eye of a religious cleric. And the title of the painting is May the Evil Eye Be Blind. We all know what the evil eye, and there's these beads that people have, you know, for superstition to ward off evil. In this case, the woman is defining the eye of the cleric as evil. So it's a very, very strong statement that would probably upset a lot of traditionalists and religious clerics, but the artist took a leap of faith and courage in order to show solidarity with her own people. So now I'm standing in front of a triptych by an artist who lives here in New York. His name is Darius Yektai, and the references in his work are very, very strongly rooted in the chiaroscuro, Baroque kind of period, Saint Sebastian, and it's a very, very strong expression of masculinity, very personal because it's a self-portrait. And again, curatorially speaking, I wanted to give a new meaning or a different layer of meaning to the semantic of the work. So right in front of it, I've placed the prostitute sculptures by Shireen Fahim, who lives inside Tehran. And it was a great discovery for me to know that in Tehran today, there are more than 100,000 working prostitutes. And as a matter of fact, when the artist created this series, she got into trouble and she's under investigation because the works are very, very controversial and they reflect an image of women that is probably not accepted, obviously, to the regime. I'm standing now in front of a series called The Operation Supermarket by two artists, Farhad Moshiri and Shireen Ali Abadi. They took a lot of objects that you find in a supermarket, such as detergents and toys and chocolate bars, and they've re-edited them with slogans that make a very strong statement about the cultural stereotyping of their culture. You have certain pieces that talk about globalization, we are all Americans, or shoot first, make friends later. The one that I'm standing in front of might look humorous, but it's actually very, very, very dark. It's called the Intifada liquid, and it's a detergent that usually washes the blood of the stained shirts of the people who die on the streets in Palestine.